Hey, what is up, mortals? It is GrogFunky here with a new video for you. Welcome to part 10 of What If Deku Was a Dragon Slayer. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. And so, we begin. All of the winners of the obstacle course mingled among each other. Teams had begun to be formed. Midoriya had recruited Wendy, Uraraka, and a wild pink-haired girl named Mei Hatsume. Kaminari got pulled into Todoroki's team, along with Momo and Ida. Many of the other students also formed impressive teams to show off their skills in the second round. All was going well until the shadows showed up. The shadows appeared out of nowhere. At first, they were only dark spots on the ground. All of the students were surprised by their sudden appearance. Fortunately, most of the participants for the second round were Hero Course students. This fact meant that they were wary of the strange shapes. Midoriya and Wendy looked at each other with a concerned look on their faces. The two wizards could sense that the shadows were emitting strong magic. Suddenly, the shadows started to change shape and took on the giant form of skeletons. Each one stood nearly 15 feet tall, and they were 30 in number. The figures were vaguely human but had large claws and fangs. Their bodies were all colored the same. Each one was pitch black. All of the students in the audiences gasped collectively at this event. Midoriya was overcome by the strong and malevolent magic coming off the dark figures. The green-haired boy turned to Wendy and asked her an urgent question. "What are those things, Wendy?" Wendy replied to her friend with a worried tone. "I have no idea, Midoriya, but I know they're bad news. The dark magic coming off of them is sickening." "I know. I can feel it in my stomach. What should we do?" "The only thing we can do. We need to beat them before they can cause damage to the stadium or hurt the audience." "Just what I thought." The green-haired boy lit his hands on fire and smacked his fist into his hand. "Looks like we gotta be real heroes today." "What about the others?" "They're Hero Course students. We could use all the help we can get." As Midoriya finished his sentence, the dark beings advanced. Midoriya shouted at the top of his lungs, "Everyone, show these things what UA students are made of! Take them down, hard and fast!" With that, Midoriya, Wendy, Uraraka, and Hatsume rushed toward the beings and began to assault them. The other students joined in as well, with being a giant brawl started. Up in the stands, the elder wizards had seen the appearance of the skeletons. Urza was the first one to express the alarm they all felt. "Those are demons, and not just any demons. They belong to—" Natsu interrupted the crimson-haired woman with a voice full of anger. "Don't speak his name, Urza!" Urza did not like that Natsu's tone, but it was understandable. "We need to put an end to this before the children get hurt." Loxus placed his hand on Urza's shoulder. "I don't think so, Urza. You're still recovering from your injuries. If you went down there right now, you might make your wounds worse. What message would that send to students in the audience if they saw you laying on the ground in a bloody heap?" Urza gritted her teeth in frustration. The adamant woman knew Loxus was right, but she did not like it. "What am I supposed to do, Loxus?" "Those demons are not that strong. The kids should be able to handle them. Me, Lucy, and Natsu can make sure the audience is protected. You need to get to the announcer's box." "What would that be good for?" "You can tell the audience and everyone that this is a part of the games. After all, if he is involved, the point of this is to cause chaos and destruction. If we can stop that, then he'll not gain anything from this attack." "You have a point, Loxus. I forgot how smart you are sometimes." With that semi-compliment, Urza ran off toward the announcer's box. The other three wizards jumped into action and kept the attack confined to the stadium floor. Back on the battlefield, Midoriya and the rest of Class 1A charged directly at the demons. The other students followed suit. Midoriya launched himself at the nearest demon. The teen ignited his fists and delivered a powerful punch to the dark being. As his hit landed, the Dragon Slayer yelled at the top of his lungs, "Fire Dragon Iron Fist!" The fire and strength of his hit caused the giant to melt into a puddle of shadow once again. Midoriya got a huge smile on his face and made a cocky statement. "Looks like he was all show and no business." Unfortunately, the teen's theory was shattered when the shadowy mass the creature left behind divided into two masses and reformed into two skeletal creatures, albeit silently shorter. The other demons were acting the same way. The student would beat them down and the demons would then divide and reform quickly. This ability had already caught some of the other students off guard. Fortunately, the fighters who couldn't keep up were pulled out of the way by those still standing. Most of the combatants were hero students after all. It had been drilled into their heads by their teachers to protect others as well as fight the enemy in front of them. Midoriya continued to fight, using his fiery attacks to take out the demons. But the teen was getting irritated that the demons would not stay down. He also knew that if this fight continued, the audience would be in danger. At the moment, more than half of the fighters would have been drained of their stamina and had been moved over toward the edge of the field. After defeating a demon with his fire dragon roar, the intelligent teen noticed that it took about 2 minutes for the shadows to divide and become new demons. This gave Midoriya an idea. The ignited boy attacked a nearby demon and reduced him to a black puddle, using his powerful blows from his flaming fists. Midoriya then blasted the monster goo with his dragon roar. The puddle was incinerated, and no more demons emerged. With this idea proven correct, Midoriya knew what he needed to do. Midoriya spotted Kaminari a short distance away. The green teen ran over and yelled at the lightning boy, "Kaminari, I have an idea!" "Oh yeah? What is it?" "We need to attack the shadow substances the creatures turn into. That way they won't have time to divide." The lightning teen responded with a frantic tone, "I don't know if it could be that simple, but we need to try something. This is nuts!" "Agreed. Spread the word as quickly as you can." "You got it." Kaminari and Midoriya split up and continued to fight. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Staying safe online is an ever-growing difficulty, and hackers could exploit you. NordVPN allows you to change your IP address, making you harder to track, securing your privacy. In addition to providing you with safe passage through the web, you can also expand the reach of your favorite streaming services. Are you tired of going through 2, 3, or even 4 streaming services to watch your favorite anime? Well, with NordVPN, you can change your country and be able to binge shows like My Hero Academia, Naruto, and many other of your favorite streaming services. With just a press of a button, check out the link in the description to get 72% off when buying for 2 years, $3.29 a month. This deal is for a limited time, and thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Midoriya saw Wendy and Uraraka fending off a group of demons. Uraraka used her zero-gravity quirk to immobilize the demons. Wendy would then use her Sky Dragon attacks to reduce the demons to black liquid. Midoriya got close to the girls as they liquefied 3 demons. The Fire Dragon Slayer coated his right arm in fire. The intelligent boy then controlled his fire and created a giant flaming hand. Midoriya then shot the hand toward the 3 puddles of the destroyed demons. The attack slammed down on the puddles and burned them to ashes. "Are you girls okay?" "We're fine, Midoriya. What was that you just did?" Midoriya explained his discovery to the girls. They were both shocked by his observation, and agreed that Midoriya's method of attack was a sound one. As the girls ran off to rejoin the fighting, Midoriya told them to pass the plan on to the remaining fighters. They told him that they would. Midoriya and his friends fought across the field. They destroyed several demons and gave the creatures weakness when they crossed paths with other students. After a few minutes, all of the creatures were destroyed, and the students who were still standing checked on their classmates. As all the action took place in the field, Natsu, Lucy, and Loxus placed themselves around the field. The 3 wizards used their magic powers to create an invisible barrier around the stadium floor. The 3 were very happy to see that their faith in their students, and the other UA students, were not misplaced. Loxus smiled at the outcome. "Nice going, kids. You handled yourselves nicely. Now it is up to Urza to calm the crowd." The audience were becoming more concerned about the appearance of the demons. While none of the people knew what was going on, Urza kicked the door to the announcers open. President Mike nearly jumped out of his seat. The powerful redhead grabbed the microphone from the DJ and made an announcement to the whole stadium. Urza spoke in a powerful voice. "Everyone, calm down. This was the planned event for this round." Murmurs of confusion spread throughout the crowd. Urza continued. "After the events of the USJ, the UA facility felt that it was important to prepare these future heroes to deal with the unexpected. So it was decided that the second event would be a simulated surprise attack. The goal was to see how the students handled an emergency situation. As you can see, there is much more work that needs to be done. But we will now take a short break to make sure all the participants are good. We will also announce who will move on to the final round." President Mike was confused by all this. "You just lied to everyone, Urza. Are you sure that is a good idea?" Urza threw the microphone at President Mike. The device hit the blonde man in the head and sent him flying backwards. Urza then grabbed the DJ by the collar. The fierce woman looked at Mike with a grim expression. "Are you questioning me?" "Let it be, Mike." The 2 educators turned toward the doorway. Standing there was Nezu. "We will discuss these events later, but for now we will move on with the sports festival." Recovery Girl was called to the field to check on all the students. It turned out that everyone was fine. Most individuals just had minor cuts and bruises. The ones who fought all the way through the event were drained, but would recover with some rest. With that information, President Mike made the announcement. "Alright, all you awesome listeners and viewers, thank you so much for your patience. I will now announce those lucky students moving on to the final round. They will take part in a one-on-one tournament. The last one standing will be the winner of the UA Sports Festival. So, let me announce the names of those mega awesome students. Mike took a deep breath before continuing. The following students will be moving on to the final round. Izukumidoriya, Denki Kaminari, Wendy Marvel, Katsuki Bakugo, Shoto Todoroki, Ochako Uraraka, Mina Ashido, Tenya Ida, Ibara Shiozaki, Itsuka Kendo, Ejiro Kirishima, Tetsu 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 Tetsu, Momo Yaoyorozu, Fumikage Tokoyami, Mei Hatsume, and Togaru Kamakiri. All the names appeared on the stadium big screen for all the audience to see. Midnight then spoke up. Now that we have these ravenous finalists, let's see who's going to lock horns with who. The R-rated hero snapped her whip, and names on the big screen randomly mixed them up and paired them off into a tournament bracket. Our first match of the final will be Izukumidoriya versus Shoto Todoroki. Wendy saw the matches listed as Midnight announced Midoriya's fight, but the girl was more worried about her match. The bracket showed she would be facing off against Bakugo. The girl knew how good at directed combat Bakugo was. The idea of facing him was a scary one, but if Midoriya could do it, then so could she. A few moments later, all the students headed toward the cafeteria to get something to eat, but Midoriya pulled Todoroki aside. Todoroki, I want to make sure you give this match your best. I wanted to ask you to use your flames against me. I told you before, I do not use my left side in combat. I especially won't since my father is in the audience. Midoriya got irritated at this. What does your father have to do with this? Todoroki then explained his tragic past. He told Midoriya about his parents' quirk marriage, how that led to him being born, how Endeavor subjected him to harsh training even as a small child, how the fiery man also neglected his brothers and sisters, and how he abused his mother. The bi-colored teen's eyes was filled with hatred as he spoke. So you see, Midoriya, I will win without using that bastard's quirk. I will not give him the satisfaction. Todoroki walked away, his eyes seething with rage. Midoriya did not know what to say to this angered classmate. Midoriya figured he would have to show him how wrong he was, thinking that way. Midoriya rejoined his friends in the cafeteria. The first person he ran into was Wendy. The blue-haired girl was glad to see the brunette was okay after the battle. Midoriya, where did you go to? I was worried when you just disappeared after the match assignments. Sorry about that, Wendy. I didn't mean to worry you. The short girl grabbed Midoriya by the arm and pulled him into the abandoned hallway. Wendy, what is going on? I need to talk to you for a minute, so just come with me. What's up, Wendy? You know those skeletons were made of magic, right? I noticed that too. But that weird thing that smelled just like the Shigaraki guy. I will take your word for that, but I wonder why Scarlet Sensei lied to the people about being part of the festival. My best guess is that Miss Scarlet did not want the crowd to panic. If they had, then they would have been a mad dash to the gate right away. Remember what happened during the press scare? I remember. In that case, it was probably a good idea. Miss Scarlet probably has other reasons on top of that. I would say that we need to just proceed as if it was a planned event and not an attack. We probably should tell that to Kaminari as well. Wendy got an annoyed look on her face. I already talked to him, and he came to the same conclusion. It is surprising that a guy that does so poorly on his classwork is so quickly on the uptake. I noticed that. Midoriya paused to think for a moment. Anyway, I saw that you're fighting Bakugo. You must be concerned about that. Wendy got a concerned look on her face. A little, but I'm going to do my best. This is a great opportunity for me to see where I am with my combat skills. I have been working on them as well as my Kira magic. Bakugo may be a jerk, but he is one of the best at combat in the class. I could not ask for a better metric. The tiny girl smiled and pumped her fist toward Midoriya. Midoriya's eyes started to get very moist at Wendy's enthusiasm. The boy was so moved by the words that he grabbed her arm and waist and hoisted her into the air. Midoriya then exclaimed in an excited voice, Wendy, you're amazing! I can't wait to see your fight! You're going to do awesome! Wendy's face turned a bright shade of red at the outburst of excitement from Midoriya. Her embarrassment was only made worse by the fact that Midoriya was touching her. The contact was not unpleasant. In fact, the blushing girl actually liked it, but it was just so unexpected. Wendy managed to gather herself enough to say in a timid voice, Thank you for your support, Midoriya, but could you put me down, please? At those words, Midoriya realized what he was doing. This caused him to also start blushing. Midoriya knew that Wendy did not like it when people did stuff like this. It reminded her of how small she was. The green teen put Wendy back down and stepped back. The flame youth then spoke in a regretful tone. Sorry about that, Wendy. I just reacted without thinking. Please forgive me. Wendy pressed her fingers together before replying. It is okay, Midoriya. I know I've told you that I don't like when people do stuff like that, but I know you would never want to make me feel small. Then she blushed even more as she kept speaking. In fact, I kinda liked it. Really, Wendy? Yes. The girl then felt the need to amend her statement. That is, you're my friend, and I know you only want to support me. Of course, I'll always support you, Wendy. Midoriya then grabbed the worried girl's hand. Now, let's get back to the others. Thank you all for sticking around, and I hope that you enjoyed. Before you leave, we would like to just let you know that we the Celestials have many other channels for your entertainment and viewing purposes. All the information you'll need is right below here in the description, so feel free to check out all other incredible projects our team creates. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below.